Hi everyone. In this video presentation, I'm going to explain some commonly used terms in genetics. It is very important to know and familiarize yourself with these terms in order to understand the basic concepts in genetics. We know that living organisms inherit characters from generation to generation. If you think about the nature and the color of your natural hair, even your skin color, they are passed on to you by your parents. In plants, the height, color, and nature of flowers and seeds are some examples for these heritable characters. In this picture, you can see two different flower colors in garden pea plants. These are the variants which we refer as traits. Therefore, in this particular example, with regards to the color of the garden pea plant, white flower is one trait and purple flower is another trait. Now, let's move on to look at the meaning of the term genes. Actually, talking about genes is a broad topic. So here, let's only stick to its meaning. We know chromosomes store genetic information in cells which are made up of DNA. DNA in turn are made up of nucleotides. Along the length of the DNA molecule which make up the chromosome, there are specific nucleotide sequences which we refer as genes. Genes code for structural or functional proteins. These proteins are the key for different characters in organisms. For example, in our previous example, the color of the garden pea flower is due to a particular protein or the interaction of several proteins coded by genes. Genes are considered as the units of inheritance of genetic information. Another fact to consider is that the entire DNA molecule of a chromosome does not code for proteins. It is only the genes which code for these proteins. So, the specific place in a chromosome where a gene is located is called the locus. In this chromosome, you can see different locations are marked with different colors representing the location of genes. These locations are referred as locus or loci in plural form. Next, alleles. We know chromosomes occur in pairs. For example, in humans, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes. If we consider one pair, or what we call as a homologous pair, in a particular loci, the gene present in the two chromosomes can be different. These alternative versions of genes at a particular locus of a homologous pair of chromosomes are called alleles. They differ by their nucleotide sequence and therefore could result in producing two different proteins. For instance, look at the homologous chromosomes represented in the diagram. There, in the first chromosome, the highlighted locus consists of a gene called capital A at the same locus of the second chromosome. The alternative form of capital A gene is represented in simple A. So, it is possible that capital A gene code for a protein resulting in purple flowers, while simple A gene code for a protein resulting in white flowers in a plant. In this case, capital A and simple A are alleles. In the definition of alleles, we saw that in a homologous chromosome pair at a particular locus, let's say for in the locus of flower color, two alternative forms of genes as capital A and simple A can be present. Or these genes could be the same as well. For example, capital A in both chromosomes or simple A in both chromosomes. This condition is known as homozygous. If we go into with more details All the cells in our body except the gamete cells are known as somatic cells. Somatic cells are diploid, or in other words, contain two sets of chromosomes, 23 in each set. That means 46 chromosomes altogether. Therefore, there are at least two copies of each gene in a given locus of the homologous chromosomes. So, simply, if these two genes are the same, they are homozygous. Finally, if the alleles on the same locus of the homologous chromosomes, that condition is known as heterozygous. You can see two homologous chromosomes represented in the bottom diagram, where the alleles are represented as capital A and simple a. So we can say that an individual possessing these alternative forms of gene is heterozygous for gene A. I hope you all got a clear idea of those terms. Thank you for watching.